by a small group of farmers, around 300 farmers who grow sugarcane. And they live along the river called Karula in Uttar Pradesh. It flows through Bijnor district in Uttar Pradesh. These farmers, along with the UP, Uttar Pradesh Irrigation Department, there is a Krishi Vigyan Kendra, there's an agriculture extension system. They came together to change their practices. So what they've done is very, very simple. It sounds very simple. And I mean, the feedback that we are getting from the farmers is also that it doesn't take too much of money. They've shifted from flood irrigation to what they call as a trench irrigation. It's actually creating a furrow, and you plant the sugarcane on the furrow. And so the water consumption in a sugarcane field has automatically reduced by about 30 to 40%. And they're getting healthier crop, and they're having the space to grow other crops using the moisture from the trenches. So water is saved, and these farmers, and they have decided that the water which was saved from irrigation, it's a canal irrigated area, they decided to leave it for a river. These farmers are leaving water which is saved from their farms into the river Karula for the river itself. It's a small initiative, and they have saved about 700 lakh liters of water so far. It's very inspiring and motivational. And if 300 farmers can do, and I'm sure this is one of the examples that I know of. I'm greatly inspired by many, many individuals and organizations across the country who are doing their bit. They're not waiting for others to act, but they're showing and leading by example. And I think this is one message I wanted to convey, that India is full of people like that. It's about picking the right initiative, right messages from these groups and these people, and taking it forward, adopting it, customizing it. And we are very smart. We believe in jugaad, so we find one thing, we tweak it, we turn it around, we use it to our convenience. So these guys, also the farmers from Kerala, what they did was to go to the KVK, the Krishi Vigyan Kendra, and use their model to their convenience and advantage, and they showed the way. This is very, very important, because, as I said, if the farming sector change their practices, our wetlands, our rivers, and our aquifers can come alive. And this is a win-win for everyone. Okay, a healthy river, healthy aquifer is also for the benefit of our farming communities. That's number one. Number two, again, going to another example. I was reading this in a newspaper. Somewhere in Kerala, one person has dedicated 1 hour of his life every day for a river. 1 hour of his life every day for a river. And what he did, he bought a boat by his own investment. And why he did it? Because he was saddened by the fact that there is floating plastic bottles in the river, and he pledged that every day 1 hour, I'll go and take it out. This is inspiring. He didn't wait for his government or an NGO to come and clean his river. He went ahead and he said that, okay, this is what I want to do. This is my life. This is my passion. This is my river. I need to work for it. In Bangalore rural district of Karnataka. And we also worked there. And this DC came in and he said, there are many wetlands in this district. I want this to be a wetland district. I want to rejuvenate all the wetlands. What he did, so there's a place called Dudbalapura, along with the Dudbalapura Town Municipal Corporation, the village panchayat, industries, WWF, and many others. He convened a multi-stakeholder group to say that, okay, let us sit together and see how we can rejuvenate a cascade of wetlands, because in South, wetlands are connected to each other, one after the another. So one wetland gets filled, it overflows, it forms a stream, comes into another wetland, it goes into another. So it's a stream, and a small river is formed by a series of wetlands. he decided, okay, he was a mobilizer. He came together. He said, okay, let me put the system in place. I'll bring in the machinery, government machinery together. You bring in your resources. So everyone worked together, looking at the catchment restoration, looking at wetland connectivity. There were problems in terms of encroachments, blockades. There were issues of pollution, issues of no ownership of the wetlands. Because many of our rivers and wetlands are not owned by anyone. So that's also an issue. So brought all these things, and after 15 years, rain in 2019 brought water back into the wetlands, all the wetlands. There were 4 cascade wetlands, all of them got water, and even today it is flowing, and the water is still there. So one DC did it, 5 others to come together, industries, the panchayat, the municipal corporation, everyone, they came together. I'm also inspired about by one Naipal Singh. Naipal Singh lives in Moradabad, and he has a small organization, and he moves around talking about river conservation. He's on the banks of River Ramganga. There is a professor who on weekends goes around telling every household in her locality how to measure their water footprint. And now I'm introducing a new word, water footprint. What is water footprint? If I ask all of you, how much water do you consume in a day? Take a pause and try and calculate it. And many of us will calculate, drinking, cooking, flushing, washing, gardening, car washing, floor mopping. You need to add up. No, none of us know how much in a day you are consuming. I think to conserve river, that's the first step. Measure your water footprint. So this professor said, look, when we talked to her, she said, this is important. How do we make a change? Do we wait for someone to come to my house and do a survey? No. Let's ask people to survey themselves. Moving from one house to another, many households, she sensitized them on how they can count it, and also telling them, okay, if you flush, how much water is gone, and if you so forth. And so, she tried to sensitize many people, and it's an important thing. It's an important measure. Again, I'm going back to 300 million people living in cities, everyone saving 1 liter of water in a day. It's 300 million liters of water saved. And more than that, the power is that 80% of that 300 million will not return back as waste into our rivers. And that's a message that we need to strike. And I would urge everyone who is listening to this to start measuring their water use in a day. And there are, you will see when you actually start measuring it, you will say that, okay, look, I used a shower today. I can actually do with a bucket, use with a bucket. My car is getting washed once in a week. I don't have to wash my car once in a week or once in a month. So please cut down whatever little you can do. Every drop counts, and every drop counts for the river. So that's the message that I want to share here. Whether you're a farmer, like the Karula story, there are ways. We have extension systems. There are technologies. There are, wherever you go, there will be some local solution like an Amrit Pani. Okay, I was quite some time back. I think way back in 2010, I was visiting a village in Kanpur, and where people were saying that we spray what is called as a Amrit Pani. Well, the name was very inspiring, and I thought Amrit probably it's like a drinkable solution. So then this guy brings in a coffee colored mug, coffee colored liquid in a mug, and said, "So this is Amrit Pani." So I just took it, and it was stinking so badly. And it is a solution. It's a biopesticide that these guys have prepared out of the locally available solution. And in South, some places it's called Panchamrit. Okay, and because it has good, it has jaggery, it has gobar, it has cow urine, it has kuch some herbs in it, fermented for about 60 days, and then once you dilute it, you can actually spray it on crops, and you don't need a pesticide, is what people claim. And we have seen that, in many of the areas, farmers are adopting it. So simple solutions exist, and so one can actually look at it in both ways. It actually reduces pollutions, and it brings you closer to a healthy living. I mentioned about wetlands, okay, and this is a very, very understudied area. People don't know anything much about wetlands. Each one of us must be having a wetland in our locality. Through this platform, I wanted to urge every one of you, and every one of us have a smartphone with us. If you could actually locate the nearest wetland, a small puddle, don't bother about the size. It's a small puddle. It could be a tank in South India. It could be a talab. It could be a pond. It could be a reservoir. Just map it. Where exactly it is, and what is your visual observation? Take a photograph. Okay, what is the visual observation? It looks good. It looks filthy. It looks dirty. It looks encroached. It has full of life. And this is a season. It's winter season is beginning. Migratory birds are just coming to India. So most of our wetlands are getting these beautiful ducks, winter migrants. Just take pictures and see, okay, good. Again, go after some time and see what's happening to those wetlands. Get people to discuss it with relevant stakeholders. Talk to them. If you are a scientist, if you are a student, go and do the water quality testing. Pick samples. There are test kits available. So there are a lot of avenues for we as individuals to also collaborate and also contribute to conservation of wetlands. And therefore, and wetlands, again, I place wetlands as a very important element in rivers and river basin management. And that's something that we need to sort of talk about. So we talked about agriculture, how we should look at saving water, small steps, but important. We looked at urban areas, how a small step in measuring your own footprint can probably lead to a significant change, going forward in terms of both pollution as well as water resources availability. Looking at mapping of wetlands and the biodiversity of wetlands, just understanding or just recognizing the fact that a wetland exists is in itself a big step forward to look at this, to take this forward. And I think I wanted to end here by saying that we today in the society that we live, connectivity is a big issue. Okay, you drive, you travel. Oh, sorry, I'm not in a connectivity area. It's so frustrating, mobile connectivity. I just wanted you to replace yourself with the river. A fragmented river has lost its connectivity. A fragmented river impacts connectivity of the life in the river. Just imagine a fish which is freely flowing, freely migrating upstream and downstream for its various requirements, are fragmented by a river. It cannot move upstream or it cannot move downstream. We have populations of key species, dolphins, caught up between fragmented segments of rivers. So connectivity of rivers are going to be it's very important. And we need to look at ways of restoring the connectivity. We talk about floodplains. Okay, along the river, there are these vast expanse of areas called wetlands. And again, this is another aspect of connectivity. When you come up with an embankment on the river, it disconnects the river and the floodplain. There was a lot of interaction between the river and that land. When it was full, it would go deposit sediments, it would go deposit life, fish, planktons, many other things. That interaction, once it goes, the life is gone. So that is something we call lateral connectivity. There is also a vertical connectivity. That is the aquifer, the river connect, wetland connect. So that's also the water that goes down flows into the river. There is an interaction. So three connectivities. One is the longitudinal, which is broken by a structure. If the lateral one, which is broken by an embankment or a road, and the vertical connectivity because of overuse. Again, why I want to end with this is because of the fact that we can act and we can bring a change. And sometimes we means not just the individual alone, but also the other stakeholders. It has the government, it has the industries, it has others. Mind your footprint. That's the only way, whether it is energy footprint, whether it is your water footprint, that's the only way. Reduce our footprint, reduce the pressure on our natural ecosystems, including the rivers. Lesser water demand in urban areas, in industries, in agriculture would mean more flows in the rivers. Lesser energy consumption means we don't have to go in for destructive development. More considerate urban planning, looking at hydrology and wetlands would mean that our drainage and the river systems and the aquifers and the wetlands are protected. And that's what we need to envision. There are several decisions and several actions of different stakeholders that will determine the health of our rivers. I'm a firm believer that as individuals, we can actually start today. We don't have to wait for anyone. Create a constituency who believes that freshwater ecosystems need to be healthy, and convince others, argue for healthy rivers, and convince others to act in that direction where we can have healthy rivers going forward in future. And I wish you all good luck, and I would look forward to hearing inspiring stories, however small it is, from all of you. And see you soon. Thank you.